So after completing the CAM setting, which are for generation of CNC program, so now we'll focus on the next one, that is panel management. So this is necessary for the cutting list. So go to panel management. So we have the tabs called as general, material, edgebanding and veneering. So in general, we should not change any setting. We can directly go to materials. So initially we can see there are no materials here applied to any panel. So initially we need to enable this material option, and we can add any number of materials here. So you can just click plus mark here and enter a two-digit code and enter the material name. So you can create any type of material here. So after creating, you can click close. Okay. So now to apply the material, you can just come here. You can see the material you need, and you can just apply. So if you're using different type of material for a single cabinet, you can just list out the names you're using. So to apply it faster, right, what you can do is, if you are using 18 mm laminated PLB, then you can set that material and just set all. So that material will be applied to all the panels. So now if you want to change any one particular panel, you can come here. For back panel, you need 8 mm thick board, so you can change it to 8 by 8 mm particle board. Right. So I change this in faster way. Instead of selecting one by one, you can do this method. So in some cases, you'll use only one type of board. So if you're using only 18 mm laminated particle board, you can select this one and click OK. So this method can also be used for applying the materials. So now apply the materials here. I'll click OK. So now the next step is adding edge banding. So when I click on edge banding, we'll get where there is actually three options for applying edge banding. I'll show you one by one. So initially we should enable. So as I said, there are three methods. First one is all sides, only on visible sides, and customize. So all side is nothing but the edge banding will be applied on all sides. So here, for example, if you are using, again there is an option called as only type. So if you are using only one type of, that is this ABS type of edge banding of 2 mm thickness, you can click OK. So if you see, the edge banding is getting applied on all sides. So show you in better view, I'll just disable one side panel. So you can see here on all sides, even though there is a joinery, here also the edge banding is getting applied. So in some cases, so to save the edge banding, what the customers will do is, in edge banding, there is an option called as only on visible sides. So if we use that option, the edge banding will be applied only on the visible sides, not on the places where where the panels are getting joined. To show you this, I click OK. We can see at the joineries, actually the panel gets covered, so here we are not getting the edge banding. So this is the other type. So in some cases, what will happen is, in edge banding, the edge banding should be applied on all sides, but in the joineries we need only 0.8. So in that case, what we should do is, we should follow only the all type. You can go to all type, and you should disable the only type option. So you can come here, and for example, I'll go to top panel. On left and right, where there is joinery, I'll change it to 0.8. So if you use this option and click OK, we can see for top panel at joinery, I'm getting different edge banding. In the same way for partition. So partition, in this place there is a joinery. So in this case, if we need 0.8, we can change this to 0.8. So this is the way in which we customize the edge banding. So there is other possibility, that is, you apply the edge banding, but in some cases if you rotate, we may not need the edge banding for backside. Even though it is not, so here there is no joinery, but we don't need the edge banding. In that cases, we should go to panel management, edge banding. There is another option called as customized. So I'll just show you. So in customized option, you'll be able to enable or disable any particular side of edge banding. So I go to customized. I'll go to top panel itself. I don't require any edge banding on the back side. So what I'll do is I'll just disable this one and click OK. So you can see on the back, on the for bottom and as well as the top, we are not getting the edge banding, because usually what will happen is, you see on the front view, this will get covered along the side of the wall. So usually we will not require the edge banding. So these are some cases we can use as a customized option in the edge banding. So basically these are the panel management setting that must be followed for generating a proper cutting list. And for adding the edge banding, so I explained how to add the materials. In the same way, to add the edge banding, there is an option called as edges at the bottom. So click on edges, click on the plus symbol, enter a 2-digit code, and enter the edge name. So in this case, I'll add it as edge band 2 mm. So I can give any name, enter the thickness here, and if you want to mention any color for easy identification, you can give the color. So in this way, you are adding the new edge banding here. So I think already the number is available, so I'll change the value here. So this way you add the, so actually I had already taken 25 as the code, so you should ensure that the code is not getting repeated. So this is the way you add the new edge banding.